How about this paid appearance? Brandon Aiyuk. Now, because Brady's
is it a paid appearance yet?
Yeah, this is one of the things that Brady is worn completely thin with, the Brandon Aiyuk topic throughout the course of the offseason, because it is drug
that's
on.
It's a good day to talk about
yes,
it.
Yes, it is. It is drug on. And let me tell you something. I'll just spoiler alert. I will figure out a way to work it in tomorrow when he comes back. All right, because the Brandon Aiyuk story, Brady Quinn's going to get that work when it comes to that story when he returns. But Brandon Aiyuk, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, the Steelers and Niners have the parameters of a deal in place for Aiyuk, but he's mulling over a contract offer from San Francisco as well, too.
I'm sure he is.
This screams to me of Brandon Aiyuk really doesn't want to leave San Francisco. He really wants to stay.
Who said that before?
Well, I mean,
I said that both sides want him to stay.
Yes.
But at some point there has to be an understanding of what his market value is. And I think that that's more for his agent and Brandon Aiyuk rather than the 49ers or the Steelers.
If you're San Fran, if you're Kyle Shanahan and you're John Lynch specifically, aren't you looking at this going, we're good? Like, listen, like, you know what's out there. You know what your options are. It's down to 2. Here's the offer that's on the table. We know you don't want to leave. Otherwise, you would have accepted either the deal to the Browns or this one to the Steelers already. Like, we know you don't want to leave. So we'll just wait this thing out, and then a deal gets done before the season. That's what it feels like to me.
All right. Here's what I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, but I certainly think I'm right. There's the chance if they have the parameters of a deal in place, Brandon Aiyuk's agent would probably want to know what the deal point is for the extension or new deal to Brandon Aiyuk that would come from the Steelers. Is that feasible?
Yeah, that my understanding is that there's also been conversations about an extension with Pittsburgh as well too. So.
Okay. So with that conversation being had, he is now understanding that entertaining the deal from San Francisco is probably more advantageous to him in the end. And now he gets a comparable. Because I can guarantee you, I mean, we spoke to Plexico about this on Saturday and just asked how feasible is it to think that Brandon Aiyuk as a free agent, or not as a free agent, but as a trade person to the Steelers would get a deal that's up there like the ones, near, well, not kind of close to Justin Jefferson. Because I don't see a Justin Jefferson deal getting done anywhere, but kind of close to Justin Jefferson. So like that next tier of guys that just got paid, like Amon-Ra and those guys. And he said it's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. And I agree. It's highly unlikely that the Pittsburgh Steelers will offer a large, amazing amount of money to Brandon Aiyuk. And if they were to, if it did surface that the Pittsburgh Steelers are offering that type of money to Brandon Aiyuk, first I would be tremendously intrigued by what it is that the Steelers are willing to do, because I doubt they're willing to part ways with Pickens. I doubt that. And I made the point, is it a possibility that you would deal Justin Fields? Could that be a possibility? And while that possibly could be a possibility, why would you do it? Why would you do it? Why would San Francisco bring in Justin Fields to San Fran at this point in time? Why would you do it? Unless you felt as though Brock Purdy could struggle or could get hurt. I mean, unless you felt that way. But then it still remains, how much do you have to pay in order to get Brandon Aiyuk up and running in Pittsburgh. And I don't think all of those elements fall in line in Pittsburgh. There's not going to be a deal in Pittsburgh if I'm a betting man. And so if I'm Brandon Aiyuk and I'm Brandon Ayuk's agent, of course it comes back to your original point. San Fran's sitting right there like, hey man, this thing is playing out and playing out. Coach Shanahan, he's getting more tired of it. Brady Quinn, he's getting tired of talking about it. They're getting tired of it, talking about it in the media. It's turning into a tired story. Are you ready to sign the deal or not, BA? Are you ready to continue to be a San Francisco 49er or not? And he's now faced with a very, very real situation because the market is one team, and that one team is one of the worst teams it could possibly be if he was thinking he was going to get a Justin Jefferson-like contract.
Yeah. And Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network said basically what we have said, and he reported most recently that Aiyuk would prefer to stay in San Francisco, that they've sent proposals back and forth to each other, Brandon Aiyuk's side and the Niners, that the Niners' numbers have gotten better in recent days. And so now it's just sort of recent days since knowing what the Pittsburgh Steelers are offering.
We'll give you $1 more.
I think this is
we'll give you $1 more than what they're offering you in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think this is going to end up with Aiyuk staying in San Francisco. Like I just, and they'll probably get a deal done. It'll come up to the last minute, and my guess would be this happens before the start of the season, and then we're going to look back on this like the Nick Bosa signing and all the other ones that they've been able to get done at the last minute, and be like, all right, this is just the way they operate. Like, they let him wait it out, see what else was out there, but the longer this goes on, the more I feel like he doesn't want to leave. Like he would prefer to stay there. That's why he rejected the Browns offer. That's why he hasn't, taken the Steelers offer. If he's really looking at numbers,
if he really wanted to go, the Browns would have probably been able to make it work.
Yes.
The fact that they were willing to, and we haven't even got to the point of talking about how does that impact Amari Cooper. Knowing that he could have he was on the trade block for Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah.
But that was a curious one because why would he not want to go play for Cleveland? Like, I wouldn't say that Cleveland is like maybe a better market than being in San Fran. I don't know. I've never been to San Francisco all like that. I've visited, but I've never lived there. But I've never lived in Cleveland, but I do know that I could sit there and say maybe I want to be on the West Coast weather-wise, even if, it's Northern California versus being in Cleveland. But if that's the case, then why are you trying to get to Pittsburgh? Because it's the same type of weather there. So, and if I'm looking at both of these teams, wouldn't you say that Cleveland is the better team? Well, maybe not at this point, but it's debatable between which team is the better team.
Oh, between Cleveland and Pittsburgh? Or?
Sure.
Cleveland. Yeah, I think Cleveland's got a lot more to work with there. But
it's possible. I don't know that to be all the way factual, but it's close enough of a debate where you shouldn't sit there and say, I'm not going to go to Cleveland. Like, why would you say that? So I think it does lead back to what you're saying. And it could also lead back to the point of maybe they heard what Cleveland was going to offer. Maybe Brandon Aiyuk and his agency had a conversation. Here's the parameters of the deal. They got as far along as saying what players would be and what draft picks would be a part of the deal. Maybe they were talking about what an extension would look like, and it wasn't enough money, so Brandon Aiyuk turned it down.
Yeah.
So now there's no more. We're offering this to you as an extension to come in and play. We're not going to deal with this Hassan Reddick type of stuff that's going on. Here's what we're going to offer you. Here's what you got to take. Do you want to do the deal? That's what he's heard from Cleveland, most likely. That's what he's hearing from Pittsburgh right now, most likely. And San Francisco's like, perfect. He's saying Mike Garafolo said that the numbers might be improving. You know what? Maybe they had a number on the table that was probably, not too far off from what he got offered from these other teams. And they will sweeten the deal just a little bit to make you happy. Let's get this done and let's keep moving. Boom. Everything works out.
Yeah.